And I just start crying even harder. Like, I was like, Dad, and he was like panicking now, and he's a 6-hour flight from me. I just launched new merch and I'm so excited about it. It is all 30% off on fanjoy.co/mollyburke until December 3rd. So get your Christmas shopping done. We've got this new cropped yellow embroidered, so fancy, Yes I Can sweater. And on the back, it has a little bee emoji, like my little bee symbol, like my tattoo. And I love it. We also have this new I don't spill tea, I drink it mug, because you guys know my obsession with drinking tea and not spilling too much drama, even though today we are spilling a little bit of tea about my mama. Ooh, that rhymed. So we have 5 new pieces, including this cropped sweater and the mug, but it's not that cropped. It's below my belly button. Granted, I'm really short torsoed, so that might not say much. We have 3 other pieces, a blanket, a new phone case, and a t-shirt. So check that out, as well as the other 5 original pieces that I launched, like my Braille hoodie and my Mama Bee phone case. And where's my phone case? So go check all of that out below, on sale till December 3rd. All right, you guys. So I want to take y'all back to October 2017. I came out to LA with the hopes of finding an apartment. I got my O1 visa, which is the Alien of Extraordinary Ability visa, in August of 2017, which now allowed me to live and work in the US. So I was like, if I don't come with the intention of finding an apartment, I'm like never gonna move to the US, and this visa, this 3-year visa that I got, will be a waste. So my mom and I booked a trip in late October to come for 10 days to look for apartments. Now, we like maybe told my dad that we were coming for some work stuff, because we knew he'd freak out if he knew I was actually coming to look at condos or apartments. But we were like, okay, maybe we'll be able to like book in some meetings or film collabs while we're there. So it's not like a total lie, but technically we didn't have any actual work lined up. So it was like it was like a white lie, you know? And it was just not the whole truth. I'll say that. So we ended up getting a hotel, like a little boutique hotel in the neighborhood that I knew I wanted to live in. And I picked this neighborhood because my best friend in the whole wide world, Braden, you guys have met him in a couple of videos, I'll link them below, lived in this neighborhood with his boyfriend. And he was like, you know, you'll have me here, it'll be great. It's a really walkable neighborhood, unlike most of LA. It's very central. So we were like, perfect. So we were looking around the neighborhood for places like 1 bedrooms within my budget. And you guys saw my first ever LA apartment tour. I'll also link that below. And so we had found the LA apartment and it was ready for us to like get the keys the next day. We had looked at a few different places, nothing felt right, and then we found that one and we were like, this one's it. It was really my starter apartment. Like, it was never meant to be my like LA apartment. It was just like, this is within my current budget. It's a 1 bedroom and it's in the location and it's not completely gross, unlike a lot of the other apartments we saw. So we were like, okay, we'll just take this, and once we're in the neighborhood and actually like moved here and living here, we can look for other apartments, which is why we now live in this beautiful 2-bedroom that I live in now that I love. I'll link the apartment tour for this one below as well. By the way, there's like way too much construction happening around me right now, so if you hear like a chainsaw or something, I apologize. LA, you know? So we ended up like signing the lease that day, getting everything sorted, called my dad and I was like, hey, I got an apartment and I move in tomorrow. And he was like, what? Okay. And he was like excited for me because he knows moving to LA was always my dream from the time I was like 5 years old. So he was excited and supportive. And our family friend, who was like, her and her husband were like second parents to me, you know? They lived here as well. They have for the last 10 years. And so they were like, we'll take you to IKEA. We'll get you a mattress. The hotel we were staying in was so sweet about it. They were like so excited for me and supportive, and they're like, you can check out 2 days early from the hotel to save those 2 nights at the hotel, and we won't charge you anything for that, for leaving early, and you can just, you know, save that money to put the down payment for your new apartment, which was really kind. So we literally like went to IKEA and just got the bare minimum that we needed to live in this empty apartment for the next 2 days. We got some towels, some cutlery, some bowls, and a mattress and a comforter and pillows, and that was it. That's all we had. And we moved it in and we were sleeping like that for the 2 days that we were left on our trip here in LA before going back to Toronto. I paid all of my month for November without ever being there. And then December of 2017, I was flying a lot around the US. So between my flights around the US for work stuff, I would like go to my LA apartment and like crash there in between for like 2 or 3 nights at a time. But I still didn't live there. Like, I had none of my stuff there. I just had whatever I had for the road trip around America for different work stuff. And then I officially moved all of my stuff down around January 2nd, 2018. So that's the timeline. We ended up actually being able to book in 2 collaborations. I filmed with iJustine in that apartment before I ever moved in, and I like officially moved in, and I filmed with the Merrill twins. And the Merrill twins, I ended up, they're like the freaking sweetest. I love those girls. iJustine is too. They're all great. I'll link all those videos below. And so I had the Merrill twins over, and it was, you know, the end of October, like I said, so it was like Halloween time. And we filmed 2 videos, one for my channel and one for theirs. And at the end, they were like, what are you doing for Halloween? Do you have any plans? And I was like, no, I mean, I like literally just got my apartment yesterday. I don't know anybody here. And they were like, well, we're going to a party. Would you want to come with us? And I was like, that would be great. And it ended up being like at Alex Wasabi's old place. Like him and his brother Aaron lived at like a 2-bedroom apartment together. They now live in a house, whatever. If you follow them, you know this. But anyways, it was at their like apartment downtown. And so like, you know, Laura DIY was there, and Matthew Santoro was there, and I think Swoozy was there. Anyways, a bunch of like big YouTubers were there, but it was like a small party. There was maybe 15 people. So it's kind of like, I was like, oh my God, like I just got an apartment in LA. I'm just moving here and I'm already invited to like a real YouTuber's house and real YouTube party. Like this is so cool, because if you know me, you know, like I was really bullied growing up and I didn't have many friends and I always struggled socially a bit. So I was like, wow, this is like a really great omen, a great sign for my move to LA. So I didn't have a costume. I like put on a sequined dress, and I had a broken ankle at the time, so I had like my big walking air boot, and I was like, I'm sparkling bottle of champagne. I don't know what I called myself. I said something, and I put Gallup. When we were at Marshall's picking up some other stuff for the apartment, we found a dog costume that actually fit him, which is really rare because he's like 95 pounds, and most dog costumes are like really tiny, which, can we just say, the size shaming and lack of size inclusivity in dog clothes is horrendous. Somebody needs to say it. But we'd found this Christmas costume. So I put his Christmas costume on, and I said he like thought he was going to a Christmas party. Anyways, whatever. So the Merrill twins picked me up later that night from my apartment, and we drive down together. Nobody was really drinking. Like it wasn't that kind of party, you know, like most people were just like hanging around at the table chatting, eating some veggies from a veggie tray and some pizza. And people were like playing video games. Like it was really chill. Moose had like one of the neck things on, and he met Gallup for the first time because he had just gotten surgery, so he had his like the foam neck thing. It was cute. Anyways, it was a nice night. I think I maybe had 1 drink. Like nobody was getting lit, you know? It was like a chill party. Everybody was having like maybe 1 drink or not drinking at all. So I only had like 1 drink, which is fine for me because I was so exhausted, you know, from just all of this whirlwind of realizing I like just put a down payment on an apartment in LA and was really gonna move here. So I had the drink, and it was about 12:30 now at this point, and I was like, I should get home. Like I fly out tomorrow back to Toronto. Things are crazy right now. Things are winding down. So like the Merrill twins were staying longer, so, and I didn't want to ask them to leave, but I also didn't want to stay any longer. So I was like, I'll just get an Uber home. So Vanessa walked me down and helped me get into my Uber, and she's like, you know, call me if you have any problems. And I was like, thanks, and said my goodbyes to everyone. And as soon as I got in the Uber, I texted my mom that I was on the way home, because it was a 1-bedroom and we had just gotten the key, and we only had 1 key because it was a 1-bedroom, so they had only given us 1 key. And because my mom was gonna be like there all evening, she kept the key so she could like go out and grab groceries and stuff like that and go in and out if she needed to. So I was just gonna call her when I got home and she would come let me in. So I texted her and she didn't reply, and it was about a 25-minute ride from where Alex Wasabi lived and where I lived. So that's like typical LA. That's honestly like close in LA terms. So I'm in the back of the Uber, and she doesn't text me back, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna call her. No answer. Call again. No answer. Call again. No answer. I end up calling Vanessa Merrill. No answer. So at this point, I'm kind of starting to panic. I ended up calling every LA number I had. I called my best friend Brayden. I called my friend Steven. I called any number I had that was an LA number. And I didn't even live here yet, so I didn't have that many friends in LA. I didn't have that many phone numbers of people I knew, and nobody was answering. And it's now 1 a.m. and I think it was on a Thursday. I feel like it was not, because it wasn't actual Halloween. I feel like it was like the 27th or 28th. It was probably the 28th or 29th of October 2017. I don't know what day that was, but for some reason in my mind it was like a Thursday. It wasn't a weekend. I could be wrong, but nobody was answering, and I was like, oh God. And at this point we pull up outside of my new apartment building. It's 1 a.m. I don't know my neighborhood because I just got the apartment. Like I don't know, like I know my neighborhood's safe, but I don't know where any street crossings are. I don't know where anything that I need to get to is, and the building is like locked from the outside. Like you can't even, it's not that I just couldn't get into my unit. I couldn't couldn't get into the building at all. You have to fob into the building and then fob into the elevator and then fob into your apartment. Like, it's really secure. And so nobody at 1 a.m., especially because I really think it was a Thursday, but like nobody was going in and out of the buildings. Nobody's like walking their dogs on the street at 1 a.m. Nobody's gonna casually walk in or out of my building where I could even get into the building, let alone get up to my unit. So I was really freaking out and I was starting to like tear up because I was getting so stressed and I was like, what am I gonna do? So I start crying in the back of this Uber, and it's not like drunk cry because like I said, I had one drink. Like, I wasn't even tipsy. I'm a heavyweight, so I was like just fine, not even feeling it. I was like starting to really cry and get really upset, and this poor Uber driver's just like sitting there like, are you gonna get out of the car? And I was like, would you mind just sitting here with me for a bit? And I like told him the situation. I was like, look, I just like moved here and my mom isn't answering the phone and I have no way of getting in and I'm scared and I'm blind and I'm alone. And he was like, yeah, it's okay. And at this point I'm like, in my mind I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my dad, thinking like, what's my dad gonna do? It's 4 a.m. in Toronto. My dad's in Toronto. Like, what is he gonna do for me? But I just needed like somebody to know. I needed somebody to like give me advice. And I told the Uber driver, look, I'm just gonna call one last person, and if they don't answer, could you just drop me off at the nearest police station? Like, in my mind, that was the only thing I knew to do, is to just say like, bring me to a police station, which frankly, I still think in my hysteric state was a good decision. Like, I feel like that's really smart. If you're ever in a situation like I was in, to say like, bring me to a police station, like that's the safest place you could be, you know? So I feel like that was smart of me to ask for that. Well done, Molly. Well done. So I call my dad and I'm crying. You know when you're stressed or anxious or already crying and you hear a familiar voice that's comforting to you, it like sends you over the edge. So my dad answers the phone at 4 a.m. his time, like out of a deep sleep. He's like, Molly, is everything okay? Knowing that I just like got an apartment in LA. And I just start crying even harder. Like, I was like, Dad, and he was like panicking now because he hears that I'm crying and he's a 6-hour flight from me. Like, he's like, Molly, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Is mom okay? What's going on? And I explained, like, I'm locked out of the apartment and mom's not answering her phone and she's supposed to be the one letting me in. And I don't know what to do. And he's like, stay in the Uber, don't get out of the Uber. Like, stay in the car. He just wanted to make sure like I don't end up on the sidewalk locked out and my Uber drives away. And I was like, don't worry, I'm in the Uber still and I'm not leaving. And he said he'd stay with me until we figure it out. And he's like, okay, let me call mom. So he hangs up and he calls my mom, no answer. My mom just walked in.
Hello.
How are you feeling about this?
I'm just feeling fine. I was out of it, so sorry.
So my dad calls me and he's like, look, she's not answering the phone. She's probably fallen asleep because she's probably exhausted, which, like I said, I left the party early because I was also exhausted. So it was fair. Like, it made sense to me. And he was like, let me try one more thing. Like, he's like, last ditch effort. This is the only thing I can think to do. I'm going to log in as her to find my iPhone and I'm going to ping her phone. So if you've ever did like pung, that's not a word. If you've ever done like the pinging on Find My iPhone, it's really loud. And so he did it like 3 times. And my mom later said she like was like really confused. You know, when you're just in such a deep sleep, she was like really confused and she was like, what am I hearing? And in her dream, her phone was ringing. You know when you're in such a deep sleep that what you're hearing in real life just becomes a part of your dream. So she started hearing like her phone ringing in her sleep. And then by the 3rd time he did it, she like woke up and looked at her phone and was like just really confused because it's not like a phone call coming in or a text message coming in. It's a Find My iPhone ping. So she wakes up, she's dazed, she's confused, she sees it, she sees all the missed calls and texts, calls me and is like, or calls my dad and was like, I've got it, I'm awake, I'm sorry. Calls me, I'm coming down. My dad calls me and he's like, you got it, you heard from her, like everything's fine, we got it. And I was like, thank you, Dad, thank you. And I'm still crying and I tell the Uber driver, I'm like, my mom's coming to get me. And she comes out and she gets me and I'm just like streaming tears of relief at this point. It went from like tears of panic to tears of relief. And she's like, comes and she gets me. And she doesn't realize how long I have been like calling her, how many other people I've been calling and texting, how panicked I've been. Like, in her mind, for all she knows, it's only been like 5 minutes of me trying to get a hold of her. She doesn't realize it's been over half an hour of me trying to get a hold of her and not being able to. So she looks at me, she's like, why are you crying? And I was like, I was locked out for more than half an hour. And I was like so upset. And I was so mad at her at the time just because I was like so scared. Like, it came out as like frustration and anger, you know? Especially because she was like, what's wrong? And she was like, well, I'm sorry, I was really tired. I just went to take a nap and I didn't wake up. So long story long. I got back into the apartment. We both went to sleep that night on our one little mattress in my bedroom. And I woke up the next day and all was well and I was safe and I had moved on and I was content. And it was kind of like a good wake-up call of like, what do we need to do to make sure when I do move to LA, I am fully safe, nothing goes wrong, I have as many phone numbers in my phone book as possible. And it made us like come up with better game plans in the future for like what I need in order to be successful and enable me to be my most independent self living in LA. So yeah, there you have it. That's the time I went to my first cool YouTuber party in LA and it turned into a nightmare. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my merch while it's 30% off, all 10 pieces until December 3rd. I love you all so very much.